Never done this trail, so run blind here, but let's see what's got in store.
So I was riding my Izzo in Squamish this weekend, and I ran into my first issue. Now, it's not really an issue with the Izzo, so I can't fault YT too much for this, other than maybe their spec choice, but the SRAM TwistLok remote that handles the locking of the suspension actually failed. And it failed in a really annoying way. I guess one of the first things to mention is the TwistLok remote is actually kind of backwards compared to regular bikes on the Izzo. It defaults into locked position, and then you twist it to unlock it. And I've actually really liked this so far. It means that I haven't been worried at all about accidentally twisting the grip while I've been descending and locking the suspension mid-ride. What I didn't think about, however, is what would happen if the grip ever actually failed to stay in the twisted position, which is exactly what happened to my grip. Something happened internally where when you twist it, there's a little catch, I assume kind of like the pawl in a hub, and it stops it from rotating forwards again unless you press the button. But like I said, mine failed, so with only a little bit of forward twisting motion, the suspension will lock again, which happens all the time on a downhill, especially a rougher one, which is exactly when you need all the suspension, right? So this ride kind of just became a constant battle with my TwistLok, and you're going to be seeing a kind of compilation of me getting more and more frustrated with how it functions here on my ride. Now, I have sent YT an email about this issue, and maybe they'll just send me a whole new lockout mechanism. That would be pretty ideal for me. But after doing some Googling, this is far from an isolated issue. It seems like the Blur TR also comes with this TwistLok remote, and you can find plenty of owners who have also experienced the same failures that I have, and there doesn't really seem to be any way to fix it other than to just get a new one.
The suspension's actually locked a couple times at hill, but I didn't run that scroll over.
This kind of bums me out because I've actually really been enjoying having the suspension lockout. I use it a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest. It's quite nice to be able to just have it locked for a climb and quickly unlock it on a chunky section and then lock it right back up afterwards when you don't need the traction as much anymore. It's also kind of doubly annoying because remember how I mentioned before that the shock defaults in the locked position? Well, this means if you take the TwistLok off, your shock's just locked and you can't turn it into open mode or anything unless there's some bogs that you can do with a cable to kind of force it into the open mode, but then you can never lock it, which is equally annoying. So the way I see it is I've got kind of two options if they send me the replacement and that one fails again. Either I get a different remote that's kind of more like a lever setup, which I really don't want to do. That's going to be really bulky on the bars. It's going to look awful. Part of the reason I was okay with having the lockout in the first place is because it's so in line and trim looking when it's just the grip. And then the other option would be just to take the remote off completely and take my shock into a service center to get it converted into a standard 3-position shock. Anyways, I'll let you guys know what YT says about the issue. I got some new parts coming in for the bike, like new carbon bars, and I got the 1-up tap kit so I can put my 1-up tool from either bike in the tube there. In the meantime, I'll leave you with a compilation of me getting ever frustrated about my suspension constantly locking on this downhill, which was actually a real shame. It's the first time I rode this trail, like I said, and it seemed like a really fun trail. I'm gonna have to come back here again once I get the issues sorted to ride it again with working rear suspension. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Kind of turned into a more natural wet and rooty. Oh god. Almost lost it there. My fucking suspension locked again. Yeah, I just felt it. Unlock. Definitely didn't press the button. I'm like constantly worried about my suspension being locked now. Yep, locked again. God, guess I'm just riding a hardtail now. On a motorcycle, how often I have to do that wrist twist.